That spark of innovation, it's just waiting for the perfect combination of tools and talent to bring it to life. Welcome to Pitch, Build, Scale. I'm your host, Chris Fanchi, a recovering startup founder, veteran SaaS marketer, turned dev tech enthusiast and growth specialist. Each episode, we connect with the builders, the visionaries, and the problem solvers who are redefining what's possible with today's technology and pioneering the websites, apps, and software products of tomorrow. These are the conversations that transform how we build, how we sell, and how we scale technology businesses in a world where the tech evolves by the minute. Ready to stay ahead of the curve? This is Pitch, Build, Scale. Hello and welcome to today's episode. We have a very exciting guest. For those of you just joining the podcast, we are Big North Marketing and specialize in helping dev shops and SaaS companies scale their revenue. So if you want to take your SaaS or dev business to the next level, make sure to stick around. And if you're interested in a free growth consultation, just drop the word growth in the DMs. We're really excited to have today's guest. I'm joined by Raghu Gollamudi, the founder and CEO of Included, an AI-native people analytics platform transforming how businesses use workforce data. Raghu's mission is to simplify HR data into actionable insights, helping leaders boost efficiency and growth. With 2 successful SaaS startups under his belt and expertise in big data and enterprise software, Raghu is a true innovator. Raghu, welcome to Pitch, Build, Scale.
Thank you, Chris. Pleasure to be on the show with you.
So to get started, could you tell us a little bit about your journey from engineering leadership to founding multiple SaaS companies and now leading Included to disrupt people analytics with AI?
Absolutely. Great question. So being in startup has always been a dream for me. In fact, when I immigrated to United States, my first job was in a startup and the goal was to hit the dream, right, through startup. So that's where I started. And that's when the whole dot-com bust happened in 2000. And I had to go and find a stable job to get my 401k savings up there. So I joined one of the Fortune 100 companies, spent time a decade there. And I was in a pretty senior position there. And that's when I realized the need for employee data or people data in general, right? So what happened was a lot of reorgs happened over a decade. And during the reorg, every time the challenge I used to have was when I was the acquiring team, the team that I was like acquiring, I did not know the dynamics of the team. I wanted to know more about who the top performers were, why are people leaving that team, what is the sentiment analysis of the team and all the good stuff. And it was a pain to get all the information. It took me nearly like 6 to 8 months just to understand the team that I'm acquiring. Like, think about it. This is within that organization. And then I said, okay, you know what? I need to do something better to solve this. Me being an engineering leader and being a data driven person, I was like, how hard can it be to get data on like 1,500 people? It's not much, right? How hard can it be? And how can I actually empower myself to make sure that I'm giving the right sort of guidance and recommendations to my team? And what I realized is that it was a pain to get that 1,500 data points of those individuals. So post that, I joined a company called Shippable, where I was a CTO, and that got exited JFrog. After that, I co-founded Integra Software in data privacy space with my co-founder Christina Bergman, and that got acquired by OneTrust. And finally, I was like, okay, you know what? I had this dream to start a company, and that too in the people analytics space, AI space, and bringing the data part in. And this is the right time to do it. So that was the genesis of Included. And I founded Included with my 2 co-founders, Chandan Gola and Laura Close.
Very cool. So do you have a lot of background yourself in the HR space? Is that where you worked when you came out of startups and into the corporate world?
Not really. I had no background in HR space. I was a consumer of the HR data, right? I was HR's customer. I was an engineering leader managing a team of 3,000 people. And I used to go to HR for these questions, like, how's my team doing? Is there any people, any employees, top performing employees who might be at the risk of attrition? Can you tell me who they are so that I can figure out Adam Grant's famous saying, right? Have stay interviews, not exit interviews. Like, keep your top performers in, right? So I was HR's customer and I knew the pain point I was going through. And since I was living through it, I was like, why not solve this? So that if I'm one individual, I'm sure like millions of other managers out there who have similar kind of problems, and how do we solve it for them? And that was the genesis of, again, Included.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah, a little bit background on myself. I'm a big data engineer. I love data. I love to find patterns, and especially with the advent of AI now, you can use AI in multiple different facets and to solve different aspects and different problems of data.
Right. And so you definitely know that just because you have the data doesn't mean you can act on that data. Right.
Absolutely.
So the goal is to take that data and make it ready for action. Right. So talk a little bit about how
Exactly.
you guys do that.
Yes. Absolutely. So if you look at the traditional data systems, they're all dashboards, right? And not that dashboards are bad, dashboards are good, right? It gives you the status quo. What is happening right now? Think about your investment account. You go to your investment account, there's a dashboard that says you invested, let's say, $1 million. How much is it worth right now? These are the stocks and mutual funds and bonds you invested in. How are they doing, right? Just gives you the status quo of where you are. Similarly, HR analytics and people analytics dashboards give you the status quo of where you are. What is the team size? How many people left last month or year to date, or what are the metrics that are tracking? It'll show you those metrics and those values. Question is, why is something good or bad happening? If attrition is high, or if my stock went down, why is it going down, right? Is it because of the financials that came in? Is that the reason? Or is there some other market news that came in that made the stock go high or low, right? So understanding those signals and knowing why is very, very critical. So that's called the analysis or the research work. Today, all the research, which I call as diagnostics, is done manually. So you have a dashboard, pretty dashboard with all the numbers. And anytime a leader looks at the dashboard, the immediate question is, why is this number so low or so high? Where are the issues? And why are the issues happening? Now, if depending upon where you are in your leadership rank, you might get those answers from your people analytics folks quicker. The lower you're on the level, you might not even get an answer. So the SLAs are going to vary depending upon where you're in the rank of the organization. So that is a challenge today, is that people are overloaded with dashboards, whereas they are looking for answers.
Very true. So tell me a little bit about a real world example where you've utilized your technology to really help a company, help a SaaS company or someone solve a workforce challenge that they were having.
Absolutely. So there are many, many different examples I can give. One thing that really stands out for me is I'll take an attrition risk problem, right? So one of the challenges our customers had was they saw that the attrition was at 29%. And immediate question was, why is it at 29%? Where is it happening? And tell me what I should do to solve that issue, right? Either it is bad or good. If I need to solve it, what do I need to do? Recommendations, essentially. Their people analytics team, they were taking roughly around 3 weeks to get an answer for that specific question. And we were able to answer that in a matter of minutes because we have built an AI system that's able to scour all those data points that are there within the organization, within their HRMS systems. And we're able to collate all of those things together, correlate it, and then we're able to service up the exact places where the focus needs to be with recommendations, right? Which was unheard of. And now this customer of ours, they're renewed 3 years in a row because of the value they're getting with our product. At the same time, the goal is how do we start providing similar kind of recommendations at every aspect of our employee life cycle, be it hiring, be it promoting, be it through your review cycles, or trying to retain your top performers within the organization.
So obviously AI can feel a bit intimidating for HR leaders who aren't necessarily tech natives or aren't technology isn't a big part of their life. How do you make included approachable for non-tech?
Yeah. So think about AI and any technology as a how. Right? The question is what value I'm getting. AI is under the hood. Don't worry about how a platform is solving it. It's all under the hood. I might write code to solve it. I might use AI models to solve it. It might be something else completely to solve it, right? So key question is what value are we getting with the technology that we are using underneath it? The reason why AI is becoming much more it's so AI is the way to go. Innovation is at breakneck speed. In fact, LLMs are very good at predicting what the next text token needs to be and is able to tell you how it's able to write paragraphs and write novels and stories for you. The question is similar kind of tech is going to happen even in the data space too, right? So that innovation is going at a breakneck speed and it is bound to happen and everybody are going to embrace it down the line. It is bound to happen. Question is, what is the path to that real value realization? And what's happening today is that our customers, especially on the HR side, we're dealing with people data. They're dealing any decision that's going to be made is going to impact a person's life. Right? So That's where the rationale of being go slow before going fast is very, very critical, right? So what our customers' questions are more like, how transparent are your AI models? And how can I validate your AI models? So these are the kind of things that we get asked. And with my experience in data privacy, with my experience being a big data engineer and all the good stuff, anytime we build anything, it's all transparent. We tell our customers how these AI models are getting built. And not just that, we also show, anytime we show an insight or recommendation, we show the data that is actually empowering that insight. So if there are, let's say that we show an attrition risk insight, then we show all the variables that cause that employee to be a high attrition risk. Or if we tell that attrition at senior director level is way too high, and the reason is because employees are not seeing opportunities to grow within the organization. If that is the insight or recommendation we're providing, we show the data behind it, which includes all the employees who are left the organization who are director level and above. We show that exit interview data, all the good stuff, so that they're able to validate it before they can trust our insight. And interestingly, if you look at our product usage, during the first couple of months, you would see people clicking into the insights and looking at the data behind those insights. And eventually, once they start trusting that we are accurate and the quality is high, they don't even look at the data. They trust the insight and they go forward with it. So it is very, very critical to trust but verify is the first thing. And the second thing is that our platform provides a pattern, our design pattern or the user experience pattern is that we show an insight, we also show the data that is backing that insight so that you can build trust and confidence on what we are showing in the platform.
Your platform is connecting a lot of different data sources, right? Different HR systems all have their different quirks and things, and you're getting data from a lot of different places. What's the biggest technical hurdle that you faced in connecting those dots, and how are you able to overcome?
Yeah, that's an amazing question, right? So HR tech landscape is proliferated with too many systems. In fact, in the last, I would say, a year and a half, there are at least 2 dozen um, recruitment AI startups. So you can imagine the number of new recruitment systems that these companies are going to buy in, right? So it is completely proliferated and the data is scattered across all of these systems. And it makes sense because you cannot have an HRMS system that does perfect recruitment, perfect HR part, perfect benefit management. You'll not have one system that can do everything. And not just that, and within one specific HR system, let's say Workdays of the world, right? It's very configurable. So now you can create your own processes on top of Workday to figure out how to operationalize your HRMS, right? So or your HR processes. So what that brings in is added complexity on how data is stored, retrieved, and analyzed. And that is one of the biggest challenge, and that's what we have solved. So since we are rock solid data engineers, we know exactly how to extract the data natively from these systems, how to transform it and bring it to this unified data model so that now we can start creating these kind of insights on top of that unified data model. So that's what we've done. And it took some time, but now we are in a very, very stable state there. And that's the reason why we are so proud and confident that we have done a fantastic job with Workday specifically. So what we are offering our Workday customers now is if you are using Workday and you want to try out an analytics product, you can come to us. We are going to give you a 30-day free trial. And the reason why we are confident that we're able to provide insights in 30 days is because we have AI native connectors to Workday. We're able to extract the data out and we're able to show insights within a week. And that's the beauty of a platform. So we are a purpose-built people analytics platform that understands Workday data to an extent where we'll be able to show you the insights immediately.
How does that wide array of solutions that are out there and things that you need to integrate with, how does that impact onboarding new clients? If they're using something that's completely new that you guys haven't encountered before, how does that impact the engagement?
Great question. This is a little bit of a technical answer. So technical jargon you want to see. One is, so you have something known as a common unified data model. So that's what we have our own common data unified data model there. That's the first piece. Second thing is now how do you populate this model? Right. So you have this common data model and how do you populate it? And the population of the model essentially is coming from different systems. Now my HR data is going to come from, let's say, an HR system. My recruitment data might come from recruitment system. So it doesn't matter what those new systems are. All we got to figure out is how to connect, how to extract it and transform it into this unified common data model so that the downstream systems don't see the impact of it. So any insights generation and all our downstream code and components don't get impacted by the kind of HR system that we're connecting to. And that's completely, would say, obscure to the downstream system. So all we got to figure out is how do we connect, how do we extract it, and how do we transform into this model? And the beauty of modern day systems is that you have APIs. So we're able to connect through APIs, extract the data, and we're able to provide that kind of a quick turnaround using our platform.
How has that integration timeline changed since you first started to where you're at now?
Great question, right? So initially, it depends on the applications. Some applications are open. What that means is that they put out their documentation and all the good stuff, which is so it gets easier to integrate. Some systems are not open, where you need to become part of the partner network. That's when they want to show you their APIs and documentation. So for that, you need to have a customers first before you get in. So it's a chicken or egg situations. For us, what we see in general is that we take roughly around 2 to 3 weeks to create a new connector if it doesn't exist in a platform. And today, I would say that we have connectors built or integrations built to at least 80% of the applications that are out there. So that's why we're able to move fast and provide that value to our customers.
That's really important. Getting things up and running quickly. It's really
Absolutely.
a big thing right now. So how have you gone about identifying and landing new clients? What is the cutting edge tool that you maybe use or strategy that you've used to pitch and onboard customers?
Yeah. So, that is $1 million question, right? So with AI and automatic email composition and all the good stuff that's happening right now, customers are overwhelmed with emails and the value add emails that are getting, right? So it is getting lot tougher to cut through the noise and get to your ICP. So it's very, very, very important to understand who your ICP is. Ideal customer ICP stands for ideal customer profile is, and who you're going after. What is the pain you're trying to solve, and how do you position yourself such a way that they understand the pain to value translation. So that's what our focus has been. And at the same time, there's this whole AI bandwagon where everybody are jumping on the AI wave and everybody are claiming to do something through AI. Now, what is the difference between what Included does using AI and our competitors, right? Now, our customers don't know because everybody are using the same buzzword of AI. So that's where what I've found is product demos, showing what the product does and making it and putting that in front of our customers, putting that in front of our prospects' eyes so they can see it and visually understand when we say we use AI, what does it mean? What is the value, right? So showing that through a product experience and demo experience before even they reach out to us. So they get to see it, and that's when they reach out to us. So we are seeing, in fact, a tremendous uptick in our inbound. In fact, in the last 2.5 weeks, we've seen 1,500% jump in our inbound leads and demos being booked because of that approach. We are showing the product. We are proud of what we built, and we're able to show the value through AI. And we are, I would proudly say that we are the world's first, I would say, AI native people analytics platform. What that means is that to be AI native, what I mean by that is that let's assume that you want to know why attrition is at like 30%. So what that translates to in the back end is if you have 60 different dimensions, you have offers, you have levels, you have managers, you have locations, and all that good stuff. So now you have to slice and dice and correlate it, right? So this is like having like 100 concurrent hits to your backend to do the analysis. Now, no system would be able to sustain that kind of a load. We built a platform that is grounded, that's able to sustain that kind of a load and provide those kind of insights in real time. So that's what is AI native means, is that how do you build that kind of a system that's able to go and scale and be that performant and be able to provide quality insights in matter of milliseconds.
So what channels have you found to be most effective at generating those inbound leads right now?
Great question. Still, data is not, I don't have a lot of data to prove it, but what we're seeing is that LinkedIn and Facebook, Meta, are these two places where we're seeing some decent inbounds coming in. And uh, and the reason why I say Meta is because the cost of acquisition of a lead in Meta is cheaper than LinkedIn. LinkedIn is way too high, right? So being a startup, I need to figure out how do I appropriately use the budget that I have. And so what we do is we look for audience on LinkedIn, and we look for lookalike audience on Meta, and then we go and we are able to reach out to them through Meta and Instagram. and we're able to get those leads through them.
In such a crowded marketplace, obviously the AI native thing is how you stand out, right? What are some other ways that you set yourself apart from the competition? Because like you said, everyone is claiming that they have AI implementations and that they have all these features, but a lot of times it's just a ChatGPT wrapper essentially, or something relatively simple. So how do you make a non-technical client or prospect understand the difference and why that's so important to them?
Great question, right? So again, as I said, AI is just a technology, it's a wrapper. And finally, how do you show the value? So it's all about values where we focus, and value can be shown using our product demos. So we believe right now we are in this education mode or a training mode. So we are, my co-founder Laura Close and Chandan Gola, so we are all posting every day on LinkedIn on what is it we do, how are we differentiating, and what is the value you get through AI. So it's constant education and constant feed of how the value and how we are different from others, and doing product demos. So the mix of all these three things we are seeing as a good way to attract customers and attract top of the funnel. And people are looking for solutions. People are looking for ways to use AI to solve problems. In fact, there is mandate for a lot of companies today to use AI, bring in efficiency. It is there. They are doing it, right? Question is, how do they get to us specifically? Now, that's where we do all of these things, and we also participate in like user groups, where specific user groups we go in and we show a product out there, and we go to live events and we demo the product. But mainly, what we found the most effective approach is LinkedIn channels with constant education is what we're seeing it being most effective.
Are you guys raising money? Have you raised money in the past?
Yeah, so we raised both seed and pre-seed, 5.4 million to date, and yeah, that's been our total raise to date.
How have you found raising money to be in this current era with AI tools abounding? Obviously, VCs and people with money are having to be a little bit of skeptical now. It's like which tool do we support? Which one is the winner, right?
Absolutely. So AI again is, as I said, it's a technology. It's not the final value add. So what are my thesis or my approach is business fundamentals should be strong and solid. So what I mean by that is that whatever we are building, the MVP, the minimum viable product, I would call today what we have, is resonating with our customers. They're ready to pay for that product. They're ready to, if they're trial customers, they're ready to convert to a paid customer, and they're renewing, right? So these are the basic fundamental business metrics that we look for, and the usage should go adoption of the product. So those are the metrics that I'm tracking. From industry specific and investor specific, what I'm seeing is that when I go to my Series A investors and say, hey, what metrics are you looking for, right? And you hear numbers like 2 million ARR, 1.5 million ARR, and all the good stuff. You hear all these things. The challenge today is that even investors are figuring out, VCs are figuring out what is the value, what is the value a company is having with AI, right? That they're still trying to figure out, because a lot of companies like B2C, right? So they're able to direct to customer companies. They're getting like 3 to 4 to 5 million in ARR in the first year, but then they don't have any customer retention. And next year, the ARR is falling all the way to like $500,000. So even VCs are going through the same process, right? And eventually they're coming down to the basic fundamentals are the same thing. Metrics is your business growing? Are your customers renewing? If you're providing any kind of trial, are they converting? What's their trial conversion rates happening? And what is the adoption of the product? What's the usage of the product? So if you have those core metrics set, and if they're all going in the positive direction, I think you have a solid chance of raising a good round.
And from a technology standpoint, it's so difficult these days to actually build any kind of a moat, right?
Absolutely.
People can develop whatever you're building relatively quickly today. So
Absolutely.
that's where retention and having good customer service and delivering on your promises becomes so much more important now than it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. AI has essentially helped you accelerate your MVP, but still the business metrics are still fundamental. Metrics have not changed.
Yeah. So as someone who went through the dot-com bubble and has been in technology for 25 years, how do you see the current environment in relation to that? Do you see similar issues? Do you think this is a bubble that's going to pop, or do you think this is going to be take a different trajectory and just keep going up in different directions?
I wish I had I wish I had the crystal ball to tell you exactly what the way it is. But again, right? So anytime you see these kind of technology revolutions coming in, they're all enablers to get to what you need to get to, right? To the value that you're trying to provide. Even I see AI as an enabler, and AI is there. It is here to stay, and you're going to see much more rapid innovations happening in the space, especially with agentic AI. The question more is, how much of these agents are going to act autonomously and make decisions on your behalf? So that is the question. I don't have an answer yet, because it depends on the impact that action is going to have. So if it's going to be like making decisions on employees, I think it's good. That's going to take much more time, right? Because that trust factor is not built yet, and agents and even AI is not there yet. So it's going to be more like an enabler, giving you all the information to the HR folks so that they're able to make decisions, giving all the information to the people leaders so they're able to make those decisions. So it's all about decision, how quickly and how efficiently and how effectively and how accurately we are able to provide these data points so that we can enable them to make quicker decisions, is how I'm seeing this transition happen. But eventually, once the AI learns the decision-making process too, then you can automate it. But we are a little bit far away from that.
So before we wrap up, what is the most exciting milestone that Included is chasing in 2025, and how do you plan to get?
The many milestones we are chasing, and the most important milestone is we're going to raise our next round of funding, Series A. And for that, of course, we got to hit our revenue goals, and we got to make sure that our customers are happy. The key thing that I'm super thrilled with Included is that we are not just a technology platform play. We are a technology platform, and we are also a services play, because we know that companies don't have large people analytics team. They have the team is the size of one, right? And they're trying to do mighty things with that. So what we are telling them is that they don't need to worry about building a kick-ass people analytics platform, because we already built one. And what we're also saying is that we also will provide you human services with that. So we have amazing people analysts in our organization. So they already been there, done that, they've done this a million times. So they're able to provide a value quickly and take them through the journey of onboarding very fast. So it's a mix of both technology and services plays what we provide. So that's why anytime we sell a product, we say you get X hours of people analytics services for free, because it takes two to make it happen. You need the technology. Technology is an enabler to get you those insights quicker. And then you have humans coming in who are our amazing people analysts, will come in and help in making sure that those things are understood correctly and strategies come out correctly out of them. Yeah. So that's one thing. And the second thing is this new trial that we announced for Workday users, where they can try a product for risk-free for 30 days, where we'll be able to go live within a week. They'll get those insights, dashboards, stories, you name it, right? Get everything within a week. And then now they can evaluate it and see what they were missing till date, right? The power of Included. And we are pretty confident that they're going to convert after that, because they'll not be able to live without the kind of insights that the platform is providing. So that's how we are going to the market right now. I'm super excited about that campaign that we're running today.
That sounds like a great idea, a great way to get people to
Absolutely.
get tied in and find the value, right? Well, great, Raghu. This has been an incredible conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and what's next for Included. For everyone listening, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Pitch Build Scale. Raghu, where can people find you and learn about Included?
Yes. So our website is included.ai. You can find us there. And also you can follow us on our LinkedIn profile so that you're able to see all the latest and greatest announcements that we're doing and the learnings, right? So we are constantly educating the market on what we're doing. So you can see our demo videos, you can see how the product is getting built, all that cool stuff on our LinkedIn profile page.
Perfect. Thanks again, Raghu. And to all our listeners, until next time, keep building, keep pitching, and keep scaling.
Awesome. Thank you, Chris.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Pitch Build Scale. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast provider so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you next time.